SMT Nation, we back and we have an important Verizon network update. I'm really interested about this because I just covered a story on it. We were listening to and analyzing some of the speak from CEO Hans Vestberg about capacity concerns and throughput concerns on the network caused or created by fixed wireless access, the 5G home internet. Will it slow down the mobile network experience? Will it degrade it for the mobile network customer? All right, let's see what Verizon's Adam Keeby talks about capacity on the fixed wireless network. Link in the description for this article. All right, so T-Mobile has talked quite a bit about how it manages fixed wireless access or 5G home internet, those connections on a sector by sector basis. Folks, a sector is one facing side of a cell tower. Usually there are 3 sectors, and each one will face a different direction to broadcast all the different radio signals, all the different channels, right, with their different frequencies, with different reach and different propagation characteristics, how far they go and if they can get indoors and all those things. Uh, that's what T-Mobile does. They look at each sector specifically and ask themselves, how many customers for fixed wireless access can we support on this sector while still providing a high quality, you know, reliable, dependable, good experience for our mobile customers. All right, now speaking at the virtual FWA Summit, Verizon's SVP of Technology, Strategy, and Planning was asked how Verizon handles their situation. He said that Verizon has always managed its network on a sector by sector basis to ensure coverage, throughput, and latency. He said, in the context of fixed wireless, a use case that's factored onto the network in addition to mobility, we absolutely ensure that the network capacity is there to meet the demand of customers, and that is what we do on a daily basis. That's how we engineer and run the network, and that's really not that much different from what we've done for the last 20 years of wireless. Additionally, he said a lot of what we do is look at the time of day usage for the various use cases on the network. I think that this is an important piece that I think a lot of people forget is the mobile network has busy times. And that means for all the times where it's not busy, there's available capacity and throughput that can be monetized according to T-Mobile and Verizon. So the rest of the time where the mobile network is quote unquote low usage, you look to monetize it, and you could do it $50 at a time with a fixed wireless subscriber. He said the interesting aspect of having a multi-purpose network is when that capacity is built to serve a busy hour, you can use that same capacity across multiple hours of the day. And where that comes to bear in the fixed wireless concept is traditionally the mobility busiest hours on the network are time shifted from the fixed busiest hours on the network. And so we're able to take advantage of that time shift of demand. Now, additionally, we heard yesterday or a couple of days ago, CEO Hans Vestberg speak about how the company was only utilizing 60 megahertz of C-band spectrum, N77, their new shining jewel of their 5G network. And how, obviously more is coming, right? They've got the additional 100 or so megahertz that is going to free up later in 2023 across the country. There's excess capacity to boot. As soon as they get all that spectrum on air, basically saying sky's the limit. Also, Keepy mentioned when you look at how we manage the spectrum portfolio, as 4G usage declines on certain bands, those bands get very seamlessly repurposed for 5G services, fitting into the equation for providing both mobility and fixed on your 5G network. What he's talking about there, folks, is there's currently spectrum that's in the 4G part of the network, band 66, band 2, band 13, band 5. And don't forget about CBRS. All those bands are legitimate coverage and capacity layers for Verizon. It's all part of it, right? The layer cake as it's been stated. I will tell you guys though, they're going to have to maintain that LTE network for quite a while, right? There are devices that are going to be running on LTE for a long time. There is going to have to remain some amount of LTE spectrum there. Band 13 seems to ring a bell as probably staying LTE for a long time. That'll probably be the last band that's going to stay on LTE, but can we see band 66 going 5G in 10 years? right? Maybe 5 years. Band 2 probably being one of the first 5G bands that they'll transition from LTE. You know that band 5 that they're DSSing right now, there are places in the country where Verizon owns 40 or 50 megahertz from the Altel acquisition, plus all the other, acquisitions that they had with regional carriers. That stuff can go to a dedicated 5G channel where it can be pretty decent in terms of bandwidth. That stuff is going to be happening. So he's got a point. There is support, there is diversity and bandwidth within the portfolio at Verizon. You just have to think about the bandwidth, right? Like in some instances, Verizon's going to have like 40 megahertz of LTE spectrum, maybe 50 in some places. The CBRS piece brings a whole new layer of capacity because they can go 30 or 40 megahertz of licensed plus 60 or 70 megahertz of unlicensed. That's huge potential for them with 5G. I will tell you guys, I am less concerned about the Verizon network from 5G home than I am about T-Mobile for 5G home. I am, for multiple reasons. Number one is Verizon does own fiber across the country. Number two, Verizon does millimeter wave. Number three, Verizon does small cells and CRAN. And then number four, they take CBRS very seriously, right? And I personally believe that the N77 channel, where they have the 160 megahertz national, some places 200 megahertz, I think it's a far superior frequency. It has less trouble and problems, you know, compared to, say, for example, N41. All right, both can be effective. We've seen them both do great things. I'm just looking at it from a practical standpoint. And I just, the CBRS piece, all of it together, I'm more concerned about T-Mobile struggling with all those things considered. I'm a little less concerned about Verizon, but they still are going to have to split cells. They're still going to have to do small cells and millimeter wave, CBRS, and backhaul upgrades. They have to densify the upgrades, no doubt. If you're going to support, fixed wireless consumers, constantly upgrading and improving the network is a must. All right. So as you get that increased usage and capacity drain, you're going to have to fill it up. All right. That's my take. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. What do you guys think of his commentary? What do you think of mine? Sound off in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe for more, and turn on that bell notification icon to never miss an upload. Links are in the description for all things going on with the channel. I'll leave you guys with some words of positivity. Every new day is an opportunity to be great. Go out there and be great. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.